Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I will be doing a 2024 election prediction between Kamala Harris and Ted Cruz. I'm going to get started immediately, actually probably in just a second. This video, by the way, sorry if it's a little bit later than usual. Usually it's kind of later on the weekends. Today is Thursday, so it's clearly not the weekend. However, my first period of the day tomorrow, I do not have a Zoom, so I have a little bit of free time. I may actually even just go jump on my trampoline because where I live, the weather is not usually nice, and it has been getting nice recently, like it's expected to be. I'm literally checking on my phone right now. It's expected to be in like the high 60s and the low 50s tomorrow, which is very, very nice. Anyways, I that is more or less my explanation. Is well, obviously, first off, I actually tried to do another video, but it was really difficult to do because I was trying to do a video where I was reacting to one of my older videos. And then I interrupted at one point, which was actually kind of fine because then I rewatched it to make sure the audio was working, and it was really weird. So yeah, I'll try to do something like that, but I don't know if it'll work. Anyways, I'm gonna start labeling all the safe states: Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado. Harris would carry Colorado safe. Ted Cruz is too weak in the suburbs, and he's not strong with Hispanic and Latino voters. Not strong the way that Trump was. For his safe states: Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's at-large and 3rd congressional districts, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Indiana, West Virginia, and that is it. For Harris's likely states: New Mexico, not Minnesota, why did I label Minnesota, Maine, New Hampshire, and Virginia. So, in New Mexico, similar thing. Biden won it by 10%. It has one of the highest Hispanic and Latino populations in the U.S. Ted Cruz just wouldn't be able to do well enough with them to make it anything less than likely. It'll probably be like 11 or 12% for Harris, considering it's also shifting to the left. Also, Nebraska second. Speaking of Nebraska second, Ted Cruz is too weak in the suburbs and too weak in urban areas. In Virginia, once again, too weak in the suburbs. Will probably do well with the Trump base. I think that the Trump base, their turnout would be slightly down. I think that he'd probably do well with the Trump base once again, but there just wouldn't be as much Trump base turnout, I guess. New Hampshire, not going to be strong enough with white, rural, college educated voters. In Maine, similar thing. In Nebraska, second, I already discussed that. For Ted Cruz's likely states: Kansas, Iowa, Ohio, Maine second, Nebraska's first, not North Carolina, South Carolina, Alaska, not North Carolina. Ted Cruz will not name North Carolina safe or likely. So looking at this, and Nebraska's first, it's too suburban for him. He's too weak of a suburban candidate. Considering it would also be shifting to the left. Iowa and Ohio, Harris is too weak with white working class voters in Ohio and too weak with white rural farmers. I think she did better with some white rural farmers, but it wouldn't be enough. And Cruz would probably just be too strong in the area. Maine second, similar thing. South Carolina and Alaska, they're shifting to the left. They're both likely in 2020. I think that Cruz would do not strong enough with black voters in South Carolina and not strong enough with newer Native American voters in Alaska to be able to put them into the safe columns. For Harris's lean states, I'm going to go give her Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and that is it. So looking at Harris's lean states, in the state of Nevada, you can go look at 2020. I think that she would do pretty. I think that she would do well, better than Biden with Hispanic and Latino voters. And she'd do better in Clark County. She'd do better in Reno and probably in its suburbs. Probably do slightly worse in the northern rural parts of Washoe County, but she'd still probably get a net gain. In Arizona, they like traditional Republicans, not Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Cruz would have a very difficult time winning the state. He could also do bad in the shifting suburbs and worse than Trump among Hispanic and Latino voters. In Minnesota, he'd do better in the Iron Range. Or I guess Harris would do worse in the Iron Range, but she'd offset it with a stronger performance in Minneapolis and probably still win it by like 4%. In Michigan, she'd do well in Detroit, but do worse among white working class voters. In Pennsylvania, she'd do better in Philadelphia and do better in Philadelphia's suburbs. Do worse with rural white working class voters, though, would still manage to keep it lean. It could be tilt. It could slip down to a tilt margin. I just think it would probably be lean. In Georgia, Ted Cruz is too weak in the suburbs and too weak in Atlanta, and in all these areas, honestly. He'd probably be worse than Trump with the Trump base because it's the Trump base and he's Ted Cruz. He's still strong with Trump voters, yes, but not as strong as Trump would be. And there was also the whole 2016 GOP primary thing with Trump calling him lying Ted and whatnot. That's probably water under the bridge, but still, I don't think he'd really be able to get the northern Georgia turnout that he needs. And then for Cruz's lean states, I'm gonna go give him Florida and Texas. So looking at Florida, um, he's better, I think, than Trump among white, rural, older voters. He'd do pretty bad in the suburbs, and he'd do slightly worse. Harris would do slightly better than Trump with Hispanic and Latino voters, or than Biden. Well, I don't know. She probably has more appeal to them, but then again, she is also farther to the left than him. Actually, funnily enough, this is random, but according to VoteView, she was actually the second most liberal member of the Senate. I disagree with that. I would say that Bernie was more liberal. It surprised me that Cory Booker was also this far. I would say that people like Bernie and Tammy Baldwin were further to the left than Kamala Harris, but whatever. I just think that Cruz would still be able to hang on to some of those voters. And then the state of Texas, this is Ted Cruz's home state. Well, it's hard to tell. I think that Cruz would still carry it lean. He won it by a lean margin in the Senate race, which was not a good thing. It was against Beto O'Rourke, though, who's a really strong candidate. I think that he would do particularly bad here. I think that he would do pretty bad with, Hispanic and Latino voters, do pretty bad in urban and suburban areas, and I think that rural Trump turnout would be down. I think that would honestly be a theme we see all across the nation. Him doing worse than Trump in urban and suburban areas, and him performing similarly to Trump with a Trump base, with the Trump base turnout being lower. So that's my, prediction for Texas. For Harris's tilt states, North Carolina, maybe, or Wisconsin, maybe North Carolina. I think that she would do better in Madison. Well, it could be tilt red. I don't think that Cruz would be able to do well enough with the Trump base in western Wisconsin. These Democrats that like Trump, I think that they like Trump, not Ted Cruz. So they would probably not vote for him. He'd probably still win Door County, though. In Milwaukee, she'd probably do better. She'd probably do better in Dane County. And probably do better in the state's very, very red suburbs. And as for Ted Cruz, I think I'm going to give him North Carolina. Rural Trump turnout would probably be down a little, and he'd probably do worse in the suburbs and the urban areas. However, sorry, I just yawned right there. However, I do think it would still not be enough to flip the state. This video was incredibly short, but thank you guys so much for watching it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video. Tomorrow, I'm not certain what to film, so please let me know what you guys want me to film. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!